So I just want to show you one quick use case. Here we can see that there is a field author, which is a user picker field in Jira that you can add to your Jira screen. You can select users. And of course, we know we can import user picker field as dimension and analyze reports by the users. But let's imagine the use case where report users want to actually group these users by the Jira user groups. It would be great if we would have these Jira user groups for this author dimension. And we know that eazyBI creates by default assignee groups, and we can see for each user which are the groups that user belongs to. We can even create a calculated member to group users from a certain Jira user group and filter them, then create a member. We can see, okay, the total, all assignees had created 338 issues. The software users created 104. It works well with assignee dimension. And there's even better solution. You can use assignee group as a dimension, and that works well. But the problem is that the same properties are not imported for this author dimension. If we check what eazyBI imports by default, we can create a calculated measure, author, current member, all properties, and that would show you for each user there is just a display name for the dimension member and the key. And in this case, the key is the same. So there are no group property that we can use to filter users from this dimension. So the problem, there is no group properties. What should we do? You can raise a question to support team. We will say, yeah, we have a backlog item, but we can't promise when it will be delivered. So, okay, that's not an option. We need report today. So what else? There is a feature called report results export API. And what we will do, we create another report where we find these assignee groups or transition author groups. We create that report as a source where we can get the data and import that in the cube for author dimension. So it's a little bit crazy, right? Let's see how there is a dimension called transition author, which actually holds all the users that makes changes for the fields that we store the data for, like status. When the status is changed, the user who changed the status is the transition author. The same with priority, resolution, and few more fields. eazyBI creates this group property for this dimension. We can see the same syntax. For this dimension, we can get the groups, and we actually see those groups for each user. So we create this report, we save it. Then we use that nice feature, report results export API, and we would import these properties for author. But before that, we need to prepare the author dimension. What do I mean by that? If you just simply import the field, eazyBI will import the field in a database, and it would be, hopefully you can see my screen, it would be in the Jira issues table. In the structure, it will be this field somewhere in the issue table. But this type of field won't accept additional properties like groups. So what we need to do, we need to change the structure for this field. And that is pretty easy. You remove the field for now, then you add additional property, separate table is true, which means now the field will be imported as a separate table, and it will accept additional groups that we can import from the report. So we reimport the field. Now it accepts additional import. And then we use this feature. We can prepare, if we follow the documentation, we can have this report. Let's see, we click here, we click embed. We copy the link to the report, which has these groups. Yeah, we copy that. Then we go to the eazyBI in source data. We add new recipe application. Here we provide the link, but we replace embed with export. And at the end, we say this is a CSV format for this feature. Now we see this report as a source. We see each user in a list and the user groups that user belongs to. And we say this time these user groups will be imported for the author dimension. So we can add this group property for the new dimension. And then when we import, something, Eddie is now talking with the John at the same time. And then we have imported. I have to refresh the page. Now I can check again all properties. Now I can see, okay, I have a new group property, and it stores all the groups for the author dimension members. This one is all properties. I can change it to get groups. This shows nicely for each author the groups it belongs to. And we can actually create a calculated member that let us filter author dimension members at author level, because we know for each dimension there's at least one hierarchy. And we use the imported group for the users in this dimension. So now we have created a set of users who belongs to one specific group called Jira software users. So this was a cheat how we can get these groups while we wait when eazyBI will deliver this feature out of the box. We promise to do that someday, but we don't know when it will be. So this is how you can get around if you need to use single user fields and get the groups as a properties. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Martin? Yes, we do have a question.
Who is Ninja now?
So can we do this on the cloud too?
There are certain REST API endpoints that you can use. If you can authorize the requests, yeah, there should be a way to do the same on cloud. Just the authentication is different. You cannot use the Jira password anymore. You need to probably... API tokens, yeah. Technically, it should work the same.
Okay, thanks.
Actually, I got the other... So I was thinking, so that could be also a solution for your use case. So if you create a report which returns some IDs of some issue types, for example, for deletion, then you could create another REST API import, which would import these results. And then during the import, you can add custom JavaScript code, which does post requests, which could delete it, these ones. So you could, without using Postman, you can also write eazyBI import, which deletes some data based on the report results from others. Yeah, so that's ninja level, yeah, meta ninja level.
Many ninjas here, you see?
More hands? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Martin.